Hello, everybody. Look who I'm with. I bet you're excited. I'm excited. Hi, Taz.
Hey, Shauna, how are you?
I'm good and I love your hair. It looks
Thank you
just
very much.
absolutely superb. Doesn't she look gorgeous? Yes, you do. Beautiful inside and
Oh,
out.
thank
So,
you. Oh, I'm gonna
yeah, it
blush.
does.
Making me blush before we start.
Well, we've got a fair bit to talk about, haven't we?
Oh, really? Do we? Is there anything going on in the news?
Oh,
I
I'm just
don't
trying to
know.
think of something we could possibly talk about. It's just
Yeah,
been insane, hasn't it?
it has.
It's just been a barrage. I've got some photographs just to remind ourselves so we can sort of get into it and go off the pics to prompt our talking. But I've got
Okay,
this one. Now, this is a little bit of a sort of what does it make you think of type little
okay, go.
thing. Okay, here we go.
Oh dear. Oh, sorry. Um, It makes me think of Meghan's relationship with Harry. No, sorry. No, it makes me think of her makeup in Paris.
Which I
I
have.
said, I
Which I
said,
have. Look
yeah,
at that glow, baby.
I did say, and lots of people have said that, she looked like that she's using Vaseline as a moisturizer, which is obviously nothing wrong with that. It's actually a great moisturizer if you use it at night time before you go into bed. But that's, yeah, I reckon everybody she was going mwah, mwah, mwah to, because Meghan hasn't quite worked out that you don't actually touch cheek to cheek, it's air kisses. I reckon everybody had a greasy shine up the side of their face after she was done. You watched probably, if the cameras had kept rolling, people were probably like, yep, thanks for that. Cheers. But yes, she looked well oiled, shall we
She
say.
did. She did. It was very glossy,
Very.
extremely glossy. I couldn't get over it. I think by the time that she went on to the after party with the black dress, I think some of it had sort of wiped off.
Toned down, maybe. Yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
smeared on
maybe.
everybody else's face. Yeah.
I know. It's just so I've got more photos. We'll just go through them because what did you think? Now, we all know the scandal. We all know the fact that
Yeah.
Balenciaga's been was cancelled back in 2022 due to these
Yep.
images and the bondage teddy bears and all that sort of thing. And I'll go off it now. Now everybody's seen it. But
Mm.
seriously, though, other than just the outrage, it's really a bad call. She's trying to pull herself off as a royal. There was a lot of commentary in Paris all about her being a royal visiting Paris Fashion Week and the Duchess of Sussex and
Married
all
to a
that sort of
royal.
thing. I
That's
know,
it.
I know. I don't agree with it at all, but there was a lot of coverage. And so, okay, if she's trying to pass herself off as that, well, then why that brand? I mean, a
I
royal wouldn't go near that.
My gut feeling is all of the bigger shows happened before. We had Victoria Beckham the day before, which was, a huge success. And then today, well, not today, yesterday, we had all of the bigger ones. I think you had, Chanel. And I think that Balenciaga was the one that Meghan could get an invite to. I do not believe that you have designers queuing up around the block, because she makes everything look bad, mostly because she doesn't wear clothes that suit her. She is petite, she is short, she doesn't have an hourglass figure, and she wears so much material it completely swamps her. So, we've seen her wear so many thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of clothes, worth than more people's own homes cost. And she always looks messy because she's just wearing too much. Like, she's got the sample size and it doesn't fit her. But with
Yeah.
Balenciaga, it goes so much deeper because of that scandal. This is a woman that is about to pick up a humanitarian award on the 9th of October for her work. This really makes me angry. Rant incoming. But her work on child safety on the internet. She's got one of the most toxic fan bases that actually target and harass people, content creators. They go after their family members and their children. I have seen other YouTubers, TikTok stars, where the Sussex Squad have targeted their children, the schools that their kids go to, and Harry and Meghan support them and big them up. Plus this, Balenciaga, that wasn't just like a small scandal. Someone's got caught up in some sort of financial fraud, a little bit of money laundering. That was really, really serious. And it's in direct conflict of her concerns for children. Yeah, gross.
I agree with all of that. I think you've absolutely nailed it. And I think also the fact, well, it's true. What you're saying is just factual. And also the fact that they're going over to New York City, for that humanitarian award, to get that award. It's just insane. There's no sort of, I think they really are delusional. I don't think they have anyone in charge of the ship that's sort of saying, hey, this might look just completely disconnected and weird. And I'm glad of it. I'm glad they're mucking everything up, because they don't deserve to succeed. I mean, it's just appalling.
No, exactly. And my other little gripe with this whole thing, with her collecting this award alongside Harry for the work that they've done through the Parents Network. They only created the Parents Network in 2024. It's only 2025. What groundbreaking things has that actually achieved for them to justify them collecting an award? The parents, I looked into this, that you saw at some of the PR events that they have done for the Parents Network, all knew each other many years before due to various court cases, their campaigns that they have been doing. Harry and Meghan swoop in and say, we'll give you a platform, but we get to take your stories. They've created the Parents Network, but it's actually these parents, the grief, the court cases, their child loss that they've gone through. They created all of that. And Harry and Meghan are coming swanning in a year later, and they're getting an award for doing what exactly? What have they done?
Yeah. And all they did, Taz, was they created an online forum as part of their Archwell website. That's what they did. They just put in an online forum and, made all the parents sort of log in, and they checked their stories, everything, to make sure that they could log in.
On Archwell as well,
Yeah.
And it was the art installation as well. And then we get off the subject, so you can tell it's just like making I'll have my stressed Eric vein show up in a minute. But it's also the art installation that they did, where they showed the giant blown up iPhones. They had that art installation up, and each giant iPhone showed a picture of the child or the adult that had taken their lives for various reasons. And then you touch the phone and it would tell their story. That art installation was only up for 24 hours, long enough for Harry and Meghan to go in there, take cameras in there, have a PR photo shoot with Meghan looking, oh, that's really sad, as she's listening and going around and hugging people. And then they took it down. If that was meant to be an actual art installation, leave it up long enough for members of the public to actually be able to go view it, so it would have an impact. It was just a stage. And here she is collecting another award.
Everything is a stage. Everything is a stage. Everything is just an announcement.
It's a performance.
And there's nothing actually following through on any of it. And the reason why it wasn't ongoing was it would have cost them money, I presume.
Yeah.
Because they would have had to have properly staged it. And so everything is a use and an announcement. And you know what? I'm glad we've gone into this, because I was thinking about, invariably we're going to have a little bit of a laugh about Red Paris Fashion Week, because there are some funny photos.
Oh, there are.
But then, if you get accused of just being, you're just being bitchy, or you just don't like Meghan, or you're jealous of her, or whatever, it's not that. You've been covering her now for how many years? 5 years? Something like that? All the royals, but you've been covering.
My subscribers tell me I lose count, really.
Yeah. Well, I know I've been doing it for 3. So you've been doing it a lot longer than me.
5 years I've been doing the royals now,
Yeah. And so the point is, I think we know them very well, and we also know all the backstory. And a lot of people coming in now don't know the backstory. We do know the backstory. We know the number of times she's cosplayed Diana. We know the number of times she used Diana's memory to entrap Harry, although our sympathy is gone in that area. But we know the backstory. And so this isn't just casual bitchiness. This is saying this woman shouldn't have a public spotlight.
No.
I think it's deeper than just, I think we know what she is.
I totally agree. The fact she's still trying to push the fact that she should be treated like a duchess. But she does have the title because Harry has the title. And until they take the dukedom off of Harry, she will call herself a duchess. She would probably change her name by default anyway to still call herself a duchess. Remember, she told the Queen that she doesn't own the word royal. Meghan would then be like, well, you don't own the word duchess, Even if Harry forced her, she'll cling on to that till her last dying breath.
Yeah. I was really upset to hear a bit of commentary from Europe, and I mean, they maybe just be doing it to be a bit provocative, but this phrase "New World Royal."
Oh yeah, the modern monarchy. She's nothing to do with the monarchy. She's nothing to do with the royal family. She has a
No.
piece of paper, her marriage certificate, where she's married to a member of the royal family. But even Harry, I don't associate as being part of that family. They don't represent the crown, the UK, the Commonwealth. They do not represent the king. So as far as
Mm.
the term royal is used for either her or Harry, sorry, it just they are not royals anymore. They chose to
Yeah.
quit that life.
Yes, I agree. I don't know why they just don't move on,
Yeah.
particularly Meghan. I mean, I think she wouldn't get so much
Money.
grief. Yeah, but I wonder if it is actually that is, oh, I suppose it is. Yes, it is bringing in her money. It
Yeah.
is. So, what did you think about the greeting with Anna Wintour?
Well, they made it out to be quite a big thing. Oh, look, see, Anna Wintour does like her because there was apparently, a fallout because Meghan made so many demands when she was going to be in Vogue, a cover that was going to be done. She was actually going to be in the center. It was going to be their main big story that they did in the middle when Edward Enninful was still there. And apparently Meghan put in such a big list of demands that he spoke to Anna about it, and they just pulled the plug and said she's not worth it because she was demanding to be put on the front cover as well, and they just pulled the plug. It's completely believable, and it matches, her usual MO really, but
Mm.
with this, Anna is going to be polite, but I thought what Meghan was doing here, you see the footage before she gets to this point, she's walking down the queue, and I think she's just looking for the most influential people. She probably did that the whole night. She had her little entourage with her. Someone was filming her the entire time. And I think she was just doing what she did when she was Z-list, shall we say, when she was Rachel Zane. She'd go to any events and Meghan would go around and find the most famous people that she could. And if you're going to walk in to a fashion show, well, who better to latch onto than Anna Wintour? So
Yeah.
Anna was polite, but I don't think that they are huggy, huggy, kissy, kissy. It's
Did you see her greeting, well, trying to sort of get into the conversation with Kristen Scott Thomas?
Did I? Oh, please tell me you've got the clip.
I
The viewers
don't.
may
I
not.
don't. I
Oh,
only saw it just before I came on, but I mean,
oh.
it is so telling, isn't it?
It's very telling. Meghan's doing her Diana posing again because Diana was really famed for when she was talking to people, putting her hand here. Meghan was cosplaying that throughout this Paris trip, which has been picked on by lots of people picked up
Yeah.
on Twitter. And you can see that Kristen was talking to you. I don't know who it is. She looks
No,
to
I
me like
don't know.
Chloe Sevigny.
Right.
And she's talking to her, and you can see Meghan is trying to butt in. Now, what I know from Meghan's behavior is she always puts her hand around, because what she does, she's flapping her hand around because she wants people to pay attention to her. So she's doing this like she's having some great conversation, and the two women were already talking. But Kristen, oh God, say her name for me.
Kristen
Kristen.
Scott Thomas.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah.
She just side glances and starts almost turning and walking away. And you see Meghan gulp and her jaw clench. She butted in on their conversation, and she was being filmed. So I
Yeah.
can imagine that Kristen probably didn't really appreciate the fact that Meghan's got one of her little flunkies there filming every interaction. They're there to enjoy the fashion show at the end of the day. They're there probably in a personal capacity, unless they were promoting the fashion house themselves. And then you've
Yeah.
got one of Meghan's little flunkies going around filming everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no
Yeah.
wonder she blanked
Tacky.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really, really tacky. She doesn't know how to behave.
No.
So the Marcus Anderson thing, where she's laughing because a model
Mm,
stumbles and she turns around. Have you seen the slow mo of that?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he is
like
her
you can see.
handler.
He really didn't seem impressed with her at all. And we've seen this quite a few times where Meghan was behaving really bizarrely when she was at Wimbledon, and the two women that were sat either side of her, they weren't laughing alongside her. And one of them was like, Meghan, put on your hat, keep your sunglasses on, because obviously she was behaving how she shouldn't be. And she had other people telling her. But Marcus, he's so locked-jawed. He didn't really look like he was particularly friendly or warm with her in any of the photographs, really, which I found really odd, because they are friends. They obviously went out there together, but nobody laughed when this model fell over. Not even a simple smirk or anything. Everybody around Meghan, nobody laughed apart from her. And it's that mean girl thing that's natural to her. Like when that soldier fell off his horse on the balcony and you see Catherine shocked. And then Meghan is laughing with Harry, the same as when the Canadian lady was singing the national anthem.
Yes.
It's to do with the autism awareness, and she has autism herself. And Meghan's smirking and looking up at Harry, being disrespectful. She is just a mean girl that never grew up. She is a modern day version or a real version of Regina George.
Yes, yes. And it's very much sort of etiquette at a fashion show that they don't react if a model sort of stumbles, or because it happens, not often, but it does happen, and people just don't lean into that. And I just really, I'm wondering by his expression, I wondered the handler thing, but I also wondered, is she only there because he got her the invite?
See, this was my guessing, because I reckon Marcus Anderson is very well connected. He's friends with Edward Enninful, and Ben Skirvin is also there as well, and they're all friends. So Marcus is incredibly well connected. So I think that Meghan was his plus one. And, they've obviously bigged her up and let her have her moment, and she's dressed in Balenciaga. But was she dressed in Balenciaga by them? Or did Meghan wear Balenciaga to make it look like she was part of the show? Because all of the other actresses and famous people that were there that were dressed in Balenciaga, they were promoted by the fashion house. Meghan only promoted herself. It was her team taking her pictures, her own photographer with her. So I find the whole thing a little bit odd.
That's stalking. I'm thinking about Pierre Parlo, is it? I'm thinking, if he wasn't prepared to promote her because it wasn't a formally arranged thing. And so she gets this invite from Marcus and, I'm going to Paris. That's fantastic. And then they act like they cosplay the fact that she's actually involved with the fashion house. It's really weird, isn't it?
It's plausible, isn't it? Because it seems very odd that the fashion house wasn't promoting Meghan in any way. And yes, okay, she wore white, but it's not exactly hard to find out what colors, Balenciaga was, the other people would be wearing and things, because they obviously, all of their agents always talk, because nobody wants to turn up wearing the same thing. It did seem rather, and Marcus just didn't seem happy at all to be in her company.
No, it seemed really off kilter. It seems like there's more to the story, and I don't think we're reading anything into it. I think it really did look weird and really off kilter.
Maybe they'd had a fight. Maybe he was annoyed at her. I don't know, but that didn't seem their normal sort of affectionate camaraderie between the two of them. Bearing in mind she's been friends with him for, I think, possibly, well over a decade. But
well, maybe he's just thinking, you're here as my guest, don't embarrass me. And you're embarrassing me because you're acting like sort of, someone out of a trailer park, someone that's not used to going to a fashion show.
Yeah, but did you see her walk in? Like, people are saying that she walked in late. Did you see the video clip of her walking in?
I did. I thought, which was the one where she's strutting like on the catwalk? Is that in or out?
I think she's coming. I don't think it's the hotel, but she was coming out of somewhere. And she has this, what I call a half a T-Rex, because a T-Rex has the little arms. Meghan, throughout this, when she's wearing her black dress, when she's wearing the white outfit, she's got this one little arm up, and it obviously shows off her bracelets and the Diana watch, but it is a half a T-Rex. And I don't know if she's just got extremely long arms, but if you watch her throughout in any of the pictures, you see Meghan like that with this one arm. It's like, what is that? What? Just do a full T-Rex, maybe? Or
hang on, I've got to go and get my diamond tennis bracelets. I'm not showing them off.
Can you see my ring? Can you see my ring?
Can you see my Cartier watch that I bought for myself?
But she did honestly, it looked like she'd walked in late. Now, this is something that Meghan would do because it makes it look like she's got her own entrance. But for those of you guys that are watching us now, you hadn't seen it. All of her team, her entourage, are dressed in black, and Meghan's wearing this big white gown, trouser suit. She looks like Gandhi crossed the Pope, and she walks in and she's surrounded by all these men in black, and somebody did it with the Imperial March from Darth Vader, and it's bloody brilliant. It's so well timed. But the fact that all of these people that are there, famous people, really famous people that have got careers, that, you know, millions and millions of money that goes to these fashion shows. And Meghan walks in surrounded by an entourage like that, walking in like a caped crusader. I mean, I felt secondhand embarrassment for her. And maybe that's why Marcus was irritated, because he's like, you're making a spectacle of yourself. She walked with such a swagger. Anybody would think that she was A, a supermodel, or B, she was, you know, she was Balenciaga. You know, this was her house. This was her moment. Unbelievable arrogance that just, I don't know, it just pours out of her.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend that texted me after she saw it, and she used to be a model, and she said, "Oh, look, Meghan thinks she's tall."
Yes, but you should ask her, your friends, seeing as she used to be a model, does she ever do the T-Rex arm? Because Meghan was, honestly, once you see it, you can't unsee it, honestly.
I know. I'm going to see that forever now. Okay, the kiss. We've got to talk about the kiss.
Oh, yeah. Cringe.
Now, what went wrong there? I'm trying to work it out, because if I'm ever there at Paris Fashion Week and I'm kissing the designer, you know, I want to get it right. So what went wrong there? What went wrong? Did she not pull out enough?
She didn't pull out enough, because you air kiss people. You know, I've learned this. You air kiss. You're not touching because you don't want to smear makeup on people. If you're greasy, if you're hot, if you're sweaty. And Meghan goes cheek to cheek. You almost see her like mush her entire face over, which obviously doesn't look great for photos. But you go mwah, mwah, air kiss. Yes, it does look a bit.
And in France, it's 3.
And it's 3 kisses. But Meghan's like, really, like, I think he got confused thinking, is she hugging me? Because she wraps herself around him at the same time. So their proximity was definitely wrong. And as I said, Meghan just smushed his face to face because she likes that full body contact. I mean, her hugs are literally breast to pelvic bone.
I'm surprised she doesn't wrap a leg around sometimes.
Yeah, she like climb on them like a little koala bear.
Yeah.
Just me.
It looks like that sometimes. All right, so we're on to the black.
T-Rex.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
That
you're
is.
right. You're right. This one, this dress, I didn't realize until just before we came on, so I don't have an example, was Diana, front page of Harper's Bazaar.
Yeah.
Very similar dress with the backless.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, there's just too many things. When she's walking around in that white shroud, she keeps putting her hand to her chest, like I said earlier. This was very, very reminiscent of Diana when she talks to people. Meghan doesn't normally do that, but this whole little outing was meant to be referencing Diana. She stayed so close to where Diana died, you know, obviously the whole thing, which I'm sure we'll get to. But yes, the backless dress, the black backless dress. And there's so many things with her where she wanted people to reference Diana, and it's pretty twisted.
Did you see her flirty smile with the bodyguard?
She looked like she was going to kiss him. Even a French outlet, just before we came on, I noticed a French magazine has picked it up saying, will Harry be upset? She looks like she's about to, you know, kiss another guy, because she doesn't just, it's the way she looks at him. And I'm no body language expert, of course, but she doesn't just look in his eyes. She looks at his mouth in such a way. It was very intense. And she's looking at his mouth as she leans in and goes, she even puckers her mouth as she's looking at him. And it's actually quite sexually charged. You know, when you look at someone, you're talking to someone, da, 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 but to actually look at their mouth, that's something you generally do. It's like sexual attraction. It's she might have just been flirting, because this is what Meghan does. She manipulates men. I think she's a very, very good flirt. But I saw that, and for a second there, I thought she's gonna pucker up. And well, she did pucker up, but he didn't.
You know what crossed my mind, and I know this is crazy, and I probably need a holiday, but what crossed my mind was Bodyguard 2. I'm thinking, is she delusional enough to think that somehow she's creating an audition tape?
Well, she's been cozying up to Kevin Costner, hasn't she? Well, saying that, Kevin Costner wasn't photographed with her this year. No. But she goes to his 805 Live fundraiser for the
firefighters and
firefighters and stuff. But I mean, It could be possible. Meghan likes attention, so everything that she's done on this trip is attention seeking. Looking like you're flirting with your bodyguards. Maybe that's just her natural behavior, because you see her flirtatious with lots of people, but it could have just been a stunt. I mean, this whole thing has been nothing more than a stunt.
Honestly, I don't think I've seen her with a male, Harry's age and under, that she hasn't flirted with. She's
No,
just one of those women, you know, those
she's
women
not a girl's
where
girl.
you go to a party
Mhm.
and you can spot them a mile off, and they're
Yeah.
always the ones flirting with all the
Yeah.
guys, and it's just,
Yeah.
you can just spot them a mile off.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get on to the tasteless video. I'll let you go first.
Well, I think anybody that's seen my video knows my thoughts on this, but there's lots of backlash going on at the moment. Meghan's team have come out fighting, saying it's disgusting that the Daily Mail could dare say this, that, you know, people are reaching. And they're not reaching, because she was in Paris and she could have taken photographs and video clips of any sort of monuments. I mean, the Eiffel Tower is quite a big one. But the fact that she is coming back, she's wearing a dress that we now know is backless and looks very similar to the one that Diana wore in Harper's Bazaar. Putting her feet up on the chair is something that disgusts me. I think it's low class. I think it's, yeah, I don't like that anyway. I don't like it. I get really irritated with people on trains doing that. But the fact is that she wasn't on the Pont de l'Alma. She was on the Pont de Alexandre III. Yeah. But by the end of the video, she films that. But as she turns, the lights that are at the end of the video, as she puts her feet up on the chair, that is the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. She knows exactly what she's doing. And then they're trying to deflect. They're trying to gaslight people. They're trying to say that it's evil people that could dare say such a thing. She's been marching around, hands to chest, wearing a dress backless like Diana. She has courted so much controversy by her trying to cosplay her dead mother-in-law. We know that she used, like you said earlier, manipulation with Harry, wearing Diana's perfume, from even in Harry's own words in Spare. So you can't even say this is people making this stuff up. He took Meghan to go to his mother's grave because it was a deeply emotional thing for him. And Meghan asked to be left alone there. And then when he came back, she was down on her hands and knees with her hands on a tombstone, asking for Diana to give her guidance. You know, she said to him it was his mother's hair that got her pregnant with Archie. I mean, this woman is diabolical with using Diana's memory for manipulation. She knew exactly where that tunnel was because she's been obsessed with Diana for years. She knows that she could have filmed anywhere. So yes, I think it was, my gut feeling is it was deliberate, it was attention seeking, and now she can do her favorite thing. She can play victim. She's being bullied. And what she's actually doing is just desecrating Diana further. And it's, diabolical. She really is twisted. Sorry. Probably shouldn't say that.
I agree. No, but I agree with you. And also, I think it was very good of you. I saw your video. I thought it was really good. If you haven't seen it yet, go and see Taz's video.
Meghan in Paris.
Yeah. It does sound like that, doesn't it? But you make such good points in that. Also, I think you jumped on it and I jumped on it fairly quickly in that we clarified that it was the Pont Alexandre III. The reason why wasn't because I was trying to undermine people being outraged. It was because I knew they would get that to get out of it.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
If, you know, and so I thought, okay, no, it doesn't make any difference to how diabolical it is.
Yeah.
But let's not let this story escalate because they'll use it. Oh, look, it wasn't even, and
they will do. They would have done that, and I think that's why she deliberately filmed that bridge first. She's calculated. She plots and plans everything, and I think she deliberately did that so she could go, oh no, they're just picking on me. You're seeing the stories coming out now. Her makeup artist responsible for her greased up look, who says that I've got a dark soul. Oh yeah, that's old Daniel, the crime makeup artist. Well, you know, he's saying that, you know, it's, you know, people are just being nasty, people are targeting her. Of course she's going to have her mouthpieces come out and defend her. Of course you're going to see the same media outlets saying, oh, Meghan's being targeted, why can't people leave her alone? She's filmed it deliberately and uploaded it to her Instagram to show people she wanted the controversy, she wanted the attention. She just probably wasn't expecting it to go as badly as it has. So now she's back to going, oh, I'm a victim. Are you filming this? Are you filming this? I'm a victim. She's just a queen of narcissism.
Yeah, and anybody with, look, just any decent person, if my partner's mother had died in a, on the dark Paris streets and I was in a Mercedes,
area,
I mean, it's like it's a no-brainer. You just would not emphasize anything to do with Paris at night.
Yeah.
Traveling along the road, you just wouldn't do it. It would be too traumatic.
Even her being filmed getting into the cars, you see her not wearing her seatbelt as well. You see her not wearing her seatbelt. And don't tell me that she didn't deliberately have that filmed on purpose. She wants the reference. She's done that. Yeah, she has done that on purpose. And I think, diabolical.
Did she have a film crew with her? Like a proper film crew?
I think she had someone filming her on iPhone, because a lot of the stuff that's been released by her chosen, her chosen people seems to be just someone going around and filming at every angle, because Meghan needed to be captured talking to all these, genuinely famous and influential people, because if it's not caught on camera, not worth it.
Yeah, I've got...
It's great for Halloween. That's great for Halloween.
I thought, well, we just had to lighten the mood just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is, of course, you mentioned the Pope, so you nailed that one. Now, this was funny. This was the final thing on Meghan. Then we're going to get on to some feel-good stories, because we're going to get on to William and Eugene Levy. But this was hilarious. Do you want to explain to people what she's got wrong here, Taz?
Oh, what has she got right? More to the point. So the main thing is that in this is the canning tongs that she's holding. They are actually upside down. You hold the black handles up the top, because the black handles are, you can see that they are meant for you to grip, and she's holding it that way instead of holding them together like that. The rubber bits that she's holding is designed to stop the glass from slipping. It's just common sense. But the rest of it, the fact that she's got the stove on, but she's using them the furthest away from her, like she's waiting for a Mrs. Doubtfire moment and setting fire to, you could see that happening. But it's the size of the jars as well. I mean, she's using these giant tongs. You're telling me that she's been canning all those little mini jars? Yeah. And, as other people have said, there's no steam coming out of the pot. And Meghan suddenly as well, if you notice that she's got her hair in a bun for this, she wanted her hair in a bun when she went to Paris Fashion Week. Straight after, Catherine broke the internet by swishing up her hair.
Yes.
And put it into a bun.
Yes, of course, Just wanted to make quick mention of Meryl Streep and Devil Wears Prada too, because I thought this was a really fun moment of Paris Fashion Week when they turned up and did all that. Did you like that?
Oh yeah, you saw oh God, my brain today. Sorry. Anna Wintour. Yeah, she was, they nodded and waved at each other, because I think it was a few days ago you saw Meryl Streep going into the fashion show in character with her sunglasses on.
Yeah.
And then you got Anna Wintour kind of like smiling, and
that was a fun moment. I enjoyed that. Okay, let's get on to our lovely future king to be. Prince William. This was just so lovely and so moving, and I just thought it hit the perfect tone right the way through. And I thought Eugene Levy was so good, because he just let William settle in and talk without rapid fire questions at him and breaking his train of thought. It was lovely.
It really was lovely. I'm going to do a video on this myself today after I finish speaking with you. And I mean, I only watched it yesterday because we had a power cut Saturday, drama. But the joys of living rurally. But this show was just beautifully done. I liked Eugene Levy so much that I've actually got now 3 months of Apple, so I can binge watch. Yeah. And loads of people have said it. Loads of people, because he was so lovely. People are wanting to watch his travel show, because I honestly can't wait. So even my husband, who does not care about anything royal, if I start talking to anybody about anything to do with the royal family, you can see his brain flatline. You can almost hear the beep, beep. He's not interested. He doesn't
Glassy
care.
Eyes.
Yeah, exactly. But he he was sitting there and he was trying not to watch it, and he was writing in his book and stuff, and then he just kept looking up, and I kept watching him, and then his book's down on his lap, and he watched it for a good half hour. He even said that he just came across, Prince William came across as just so normal, and as I said, he's not royal family fan at all, and he was just like, it was so, for someone that's not a royal family fan, I know it's not me just being biased, he just came across as wonderful. They both did. And they were just like two guys genuinely wanting to know about each other's lives. Prince William was asking Eugene things about his life when it came to like losing his home in the fires in California and stuff. And they were just, you felt like you were a fly on a wall just listening to two people getting to know each other. There was no leading questions. There was no ulterior motives. There was no pushing for answers to do with gossip and Harry and Meghan and vindictive things and wanting him to complain. And it was such a positive program. I loved it. I'd watch it again. I will watch this again.
I have actually watched it twice. I also love when he gets the letter from Kensington Palace actually inviting him. And when he's got the letter, his hand's shaking. Yeah. And it's genuine excitement. Yeah. And then when he goes and orders a dry martini and the dog biscuits, I thought that was such a sweet touch. And I mean, I know that was probably written in, but it was just lovely. And the whole thing was so genuine. Yeah. I've got more photos.
William, it's signed off as William. It's not, the Duke, he's not the Prince of Wales. He's not signed it off as anything pretentious. It's just literally, Eugene, I'd love for you to come. I'll be your tour guide, William. And it's just a breath of fresh air compared to those who shall not be named.
Yes, and I was so relieved that they weren't mentioned, other than William mentioning Harry to do with, the press intrusion when they were young. I thought that was quite lovely of him. But the fact that he wasn't asked about it, it was such a relief. I was sort of a little bit tight thinking, oh, don't wreck it. Don't wreck it. It's so good.
Them into this. I know. I was the same. And then the fact that, it wasn't, but he did make it clear, Eugene, in a few of these interviews, that he wasn't told what he could and couldn't do. And that's why he could have mentioned Harry and Meghan, because the palace didn't give him any rules of what he could and couldn't bring up. That was Eugene's choice to do it. But that's what made it so wonderful, because I think they were both so relaxed, because it was, they weren't expecting any sort of questions to be asked, any sort of, you've got to be tricky, you've got to be careful. It was two guys hanging out down the pub. It was, lovely.
It was a real conversation. It's like normal people would behave. If you were invited to be shown around by, William around Windsor, you wouldn't be rude. There is that. But you wouldn't be rude. Because that's really intrusive. You wouldn't bring up anything that's so intrusive and rude or would make him feel uncomfortable. I mean, it's people behaving as real people do out there. And journalists wouldn't know how to do that. This was an interesting shot because it was so behind the scenes, because when you see the program and they're chatting at the window and he's saying, yes, I do miss my grandmother. And he's talking about her riding horses out on the grounds and all that. It's so intimate. And then you have this behind the scenes look where you realize that you've got all the camera crew, but that was the thing, you didn't get any awareness that they were really taking any notice of anyone external to them.
No, and they showed Windsor Castle off like incredibly well. I mean, I've been there a couple of times myself. I've done this tour. Every room that they go into, you get to go into if you went to go see it, and there is a vibe there. There is something where you do, because it's their home. Eugene brings it up. This isn't a museum. This isn't like going somewhere where, it's all artifacts and old, but it's a dusty old place with us. This is their actual home. And William talking about that after hours, him and the kids charge round, chasing each other around Windsor Castle, like when he and Harry were children, with his cousins and stuff. It's wonderful. It is. Really, I can't sing this show enough praises, really. But he was very, I did get choked up when he was talking about the Queen. That did, because I miss her. I miss her. I miss Philip. I do. But I'm also glad that they're not around to see how nasty it all turned out with,
Yeah, it was
They're my
really
boys.
lovely when he was talking about running around St George's
Yeah,
Hall,
yeah,
pre-carpet, pre-fire, and it was
yeah.
wooden, and the huge wooden
Splinters.
splinters. And he was saying, "Oh, our kids have it easy because they get to run on carpet and all that."
Yeah,
Yeah, the pub scene also more. It was so intimate and it was so
yeah,
moving. But I think here you could see the toll that Catherine's illness and his
yeah,
father's illness and the
yeah.
whole year took on him. I'm going to ask you questions now. What did you think he meant by the difficulty with family? Do you think he meant Harry, or do you think he meant Andrew and Sarah, or do you think it was more of a general comment?
I think that he wouldn't have said anything in this that could be easily manipulated. I don't think that he would have made a barb at Andrew or Harry, because I think that I think he's very indifferent when it comes to Harry now. I think Harry doesn't exist to him. And obviously, with everything that's going on with Andrew, I don't think he'd want to draw attention to it. But I
No.
do think it is, just trying to remind people that it is family. I've got problems with my family just the same as everybody else has got problems. I mean, whilst it
Yeah.
is obviously slightly different because it plays out on the world stage, how many people have honestly not fallen out with a sibling, even in adulthood, who's not got the creepy, the uncle, maybe not as creepy as Andrew, to be fair, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean,
It's pretty extreme.
it goes to like when you go to family gatherings and weddings and funerals, you've got that relative that you don't get along with, and someone's married that person that's turned them into sort of like a bit of a whelp. And yeah, so I don't think he was deliberately trying to. I think it
No,
was a
it
way.
didn't come across that way, but I was just interested to see what you
Yeah.
think. And what do you think
Mm.
he meant by change?
I think when he was talking about the traditions, looking at some things that should be kept and some things that, it is a bit dated now. And there are certain things. I mean, I hope that he doesn't strip back when it comes to the pomp and the ceremony, because I mean, when you have the state visits and then you have all of the military bands, and I mean, we really do put on a bloody good show. And
Yeah,
I think that's part of the mystery and the wonder and so much history and
yeah,
British traditions. And we're having so much of our country ripped apart now, where we're losing so much. I hope things like that stay.
mm,
So, but I think there's maybe some things that he finds, a bit uncomfortable. I think there's certain things when it came to him, perhaps even when his day comes, when, God forbid, but when Charles has gone and he becomes king, there were bits of that service that I think he feels are a bit over the top now, being hidden behind the screens as he's
screen, yeah,
anointed with oils and stuff. And I think he probably want to modernize it, because you do have European royalty. Look at the way that Queen Margaretha, when she abdicated, it was all done in the throne room and it was wonderful, but it was very much a signing of contracts. And
yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah, that wasn't quite
celebration.
enough for me. That wasn't quite enough for
Yeah, you
me.
don't want it to, that's what I mean, you don't want it to go that far, but
No.
maybe there's middle of the road. But I
Yeah, I
certainly
agree.
don't want to lose
Yeah,
all of the pomp and tradition. I mean, I love it, and so does the tourism. I mean, the millions, the
yeah,
billions it brings in is just truly astronomical. And when
yeah.
people bitch and go, "Oh, well, people have to pay £1.20 a year," compared to what they actually bring in for our economy, it's like really nothing.
Yeah. And you're right. That's what people go to see. They go to see all that pomp and ceremony, which is fantastic. I've got some comments. We'll go to some comments
Yes.
before we run out of time. Oh, we got a tip. Thank you, Koala Blues. That's very kind of
Oh,
you. JD, looking forward to this. The look on that soldier's face. Oh, I'll get the soldier's face with Catherine. I'll find
yes.
it so we can
Oh,
get it up. And this is, of course, referring to Catherine's trip. There
yeah.
she is, to RAF Conisby in
Honestly, yeah.
Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at that look. Now, if you were that
Yeah.
soldier's wife, would you think that was funny? I think
If
I'd find that amusing
if
and
the Princess
endearing.
of Wales, if someone took a picture of my husband looking at Catherine like that, I'd be like, fair play to him, because I would be exactly the same. I'd be like a little kid, I'd be like,
Yeah,
oh,
just shove him out of the way so you can look.
look at her smile, look at her hair. No, I mean, There's a couple of pictures. There's one with her laughing as well, and I think he was just enjoying spending time with her.
Oh, Taz, he was completely besotted. He was just gone. He was gone. He's so in love. So
you can
in
always
love.
see like the cartoons, the little love hearts come
Yeah,
out.
and Phoebe picked it up, the pilot looking at Catherine. Wow, he's enamored for sure. His wife will be pissed.
I wouldn't be jealous though. I mean, as I said, it's Catherine, I wouldn't, if it was some part down the pub and I caught my husband looking at her like that, I'd be a bit different about it.
Yes.
But the Princess of Wales, come on, he's only mortal. He's a mere mortal.
Yeah. I'll see if there's any more comments I can bring up just quickly. They're flying past. We've got a lot of people in here today.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hi, LG. I think even if look at her like that, my husband would roll his eyes if he saw me.
Yeah, I would be the same. Be the same. Well, it's like when you said earlier about Eugene and Prince William. If I had the chance to walk around Windsor with Prince William, I would be like a koala bear hanging off his leg, like a little toddler at a wedding. I'd be
yeah. When you went to Windsor, do you have access to that part, or is that very special, the quadrangle area?
No, the quadrangle, actually, I can't remember. No, I think the bit where he came up, no, that's the bit you don't, because that's where they get out of the carriages. I mean, maybe they have it open on certain days or certain events, but I don't think the quadrangle, I think that is like a bit of a private entrance for the royals, but you can look out over to the gardens.
Yeah. And we, of course, we'll finish off with these because look at that.
Adorable.
You can't fake that. You can't fake that. That little girl that's going up to her and gazing into her eyes. You cannot get a little girl to do that of that age unless they're genuinely feeling it. So, yeah, really sweet.
She gives off mummy, natural vibes. Kids love her. They do Prince William as well. Kids and animals, they're a really good barometer because they see things that we don't. They're so pure and so innocent that if they pick up on a bad vibe, then they will let you know. Kids can be heartbreaking. They can be brutal sometimes. I've had it where a friend's baby, I've gone to give them a cuddle and they've screamed the place down. I'm like, oh, ouch. It's just a baby, probably just had wind, but I was like, ow, that got
me. Especially when it's your own baby. It's happened to me with my own baby when I used to hand them over to my mum. Stop crying, hand me back. Go.
You ungrateful, I grew you for 9 months.
Exactly. Never gotten over it. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We have just, blah, 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 blah. We probably haven't paid you enough attention, but we had so much to talk about and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you again next month, lovely girl.
Yes, amazing. Looking forward to that. And then for any of you other guys, I will be dropping a video in about 8 hours. So hopefully
I'll be watching. Amazing.
Okay. So Shauna, it's been wonderful and I will see you very soon for another Gossip and a catch up. Bye bye.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. Bye everyone. See you. Bye.